Hello, Danny from the notifications team here, and today I'm going to walk you through how to perform auto remediation operations using the new Event Bridge integration, workflows, and AWS Automation Manager. Now I have two EC2 instances in here that I monitor with New Relic. Now that those are regular instances, they are not managed or anything, and we want automatic reactions whenever severe issues are occurred and are related to those instances, like memory issues. And to achieve that, we are going to need a workflow and an event bridge notifier in it. Now skip to the configure event template section, where I configure the JSON content of the eventual event. And here I have two parameters. The first is instance ID, which represents the eventual impacted entity ID, and action. And I put action here because I want the instances to be stopped only when an alert policy that can indicate memory issues was triggered, right? Otherwise, no action. I can update the workflow, and we're going to set up the event bridge rule. We'll start with the pattern. The pattern is the filter for the incoming events, and we want to stop the instance only when the event came from New Relic, right? And when the action is stopped. Next, we will create or configure the target, and the target will be of type System Manager Automation. We want to stop the instance, so we pick what they call a document. We will pick the Stop EC2 Instance Automation. Let's take a look at the automation specifications, so we will know how to configure it. Looking at the details, we can see that there are two parameters, and one is required, called instance ID, of type list of strings. So we want to pass this value to the automation. We obviously don't want to pass a constant value because the impacted entity differs from issue to issue. And we can achieve that by selecting the input transformer. Now, if you recall, the instance ID value in the event was placed under the detail keyword. And with this syntax, we can extract the value to the instance variable. Next, we want to put a value to the instance ID parameter, and we are going to use the instance as the value. Recall that the instance ID gets a list of strings, and in the event we get a single string, and this is why we are going to wrap its value with parentheses. All right, next, we're going to need to attach a role to this role, and the roles should provide permissions for Event Bridge to access AWS Automation Manager, and specifically to perform operations on EC2 instances. Now, those EC2 instances need to have the role attached to them as well. So that's about it for target one. I set up a second target just to get an email whenever this rule is triggered. So I will know to check the state of the EC2 instances. I also can see that I got two new issues on those entities. And let's review their status. Stopped. Great.